Today we got a little mix of things here. We have some cucumbers, some shredded chicken. It's not shredded, it's thicker than shredded. Flamin' hot Cheeto puffs, a couple lemons, and Beloved sauce that is freshly made. That plastic is hot, so I put it in a bowl. And of course, a Sprite. Hello. So, this is the setup I have. I feel like I've been saying from the beginning, it's either me or the food, and I watch these to watch the food, but it's a little hard and I also want conversation, so this is what we have. So let's talk about, let's see, what topic shall we talk about? Obviously I'd love to talk about this topic and have you guys chime in the comments below. What's your take on it? And let's go from there, shall we? Okay. Topic of conversation is disagreements. This particular disagreement happens to be about not accepting truth. Now, truth, when you've done wrong, should be, it's never easy, but it should be easy to say, you know, my bad, I messed up. But I think most of us have a hard time with that. So in this particular situation, let's eat first. I'm gonna try these into the Beloved sauce and see what happens. Oh, I got some good stuff. It's hot, but it's good. And then you get the heat of the puff, but it's like piping hot because I just made it. Very good. I'm gonna try the chicken. This is rotisserie chicken, I think the lemon rosemary from Albertsons. I know Beloved says that this is for all kinds of foods, but I'm partial to seafood, but let's see. I'm trying to get in there and dig for the good stuff because I know I mentioned before it kind of bothers me when people just like dip and then they eat. I want you to get in there and taste all the flavors. So I'm gonna put some lemon on there. You're right, Beloved. Even with chicken, it's good. Wow. Can't go wrong with the cucumber. Very good. Pause. And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, my son going to bed.
Hey, hey, shh. What? Hey, I'm going to bed, we get it. My life's sad, we get it.
Oh my gosh. An 11-year-old for you. Your life is wonderful.
Hey.
Love you, son.
Love you too, Mom.
Okay, oh, and I forgot the, okay. All wonderful things. So, this is the situation. I'm just gonna have to be real. I was trying to go around it, not to not be real, but like, not give names, but we're gonna have to be real. So I had a disagreement with my husband. And this disagreement was basically, you know, like say you mess up or you got the wrong time and place of something, like your wife has been saying, you know, hey, I think it's at this location. And are you sure? Because I think it's at this location. And he was like, no, it's at this other location, some appointment he had. So I'm thinking, cool, I can be a bother, so I'm not gonna say anything. Lo and behold, he texts me, he's like, I'm so upset. I drove all the way down there to the place that he said he needed to go, and it wasn't there. It was where? Oh, at the place that I had said. I'm upset. Because there was also an acknowledgement of like, oh, I was wrong, him. So, anyway, you know, we're talking about that. And this is like not the first time, like in this last several weeks, there's been a lot of stressors, so I get it. But there's been a lot of like, oh, I thought it was this. It wasn't that. I thought they said this. I was like, wasn't there an email? Okay. He's got a lot on his plate. Totally cool. I get it. So when he comes home, we're talking and we are, you know, thinking about like, okay, when things change, you know, depending on, you know, job changes, your benefits end, and sometimes they end at the end of the month or they end that same day, you know, you have to figure that out. And he was already like deflecting. He wasn't really present in the conversation. He was like, I think I'm gonna call the insurance. And I'm like, it's not the insurance, it's HR. You have to ask them when it ends. And he was like, yeah, well, you know, and I'm over here thinking, this is like the 4th time that, again, because earlier was the whole, he went to the wrong place. He didn't miss his appointment, but he went to the wrong place. And so I'm already kind of annoyed, and he keeps, it's almost like a back and forth of like, no, but you need to ask somebody, like you need to talk to someone in HR. And he kept kind of like going around, and I'm like, so then he got upset that I was like being assertive or whatever you want to call it. And I said, well, it's frustrating, excuse me, when I've been saying, you know, X, Y, and Z, like do this, or please go here, or this is who you should talk to, and it doesn't happen. So then in the heat of the moment, I was frustrated, but I didn't say the following to be hurtful. I said it as a matter of fact, like these are the facts. You can't take the heat. He didn't like that. Apparently it was a trigger. Apparently somebody, that interruption was Mr. himself, the Hubs. So I don't know where I was, but basically the whole point was there's a lot of errors that were coming up. And so the one thing I said once he was home and he was evading like what I was saying, which was go to HR, ask them when your last insurance coverage is. And I was like kind of escalating a little bit. And I said, you need to call them. Like, this is important. And he kind of got a little upset and said a couple things like, you know, when people like are like, no, or they deflect or they can't receive the information. And I said, you can't take the heat. Now, when I said that, it's a saying that a lot of us say, and those are facts. Like, you could not accept the fact that you were wrong, have been wrong for a few days, and that I'm telling you what needs to be done because you're not doing it, X, Y, and Z. And so he got quiet. I guess he shut down, and like, it wasn't the nicest thing, but people can say sayings like that, or they could just say things like, you know, you never accept when you're wrong, you never, you know, whatever, like, you know, you just don't, you're not quick to apologize, or you don't see that you're wrong. Like, they say that, and it's the same thing, I believe. So I was like, he's done that before. So he took a minute. I was like, you know what? I don't like that you said that. Apparently somebody said that to him years ago. Sensitive subject. I didn't know that. And I think that's where that came from. Is when you're triggered because it's happened or it was a sensitive time. I think had I said that and nobody had ever said those words, it would have been okay. But I think the fact that somebody had used those terms and he said, and they were being hurtful, that's what got him. And he was like, you basically were trying to be hurtful. Now, I disagreed. I don't believe that you can tell somebody you said that to be hurtful, because you don't know the people's intentions. Truly, when I said it, I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just being matter of fact. Like, you know, and one example that I use, let me be real here, is if somebody were to say, to me, oh, or like, oh, she's overweight, or you're so overweight. Does it hurt me? I guess it depends on the situation. Yes, it bothers me, especially if they use other words. But if I'm not immediately in that situation and I step back, the reality is they're correct. So sometimes people saying things, there's truth there. Could I have said it softer? Sure. But truth of the matter is, it was facts. You couldn't take the heat. You didn't want to accept that you were wrong. That's where I was coming from. And I gave him the example of somebody like saying something about my appearance. They wouldn't be wrong, but I mean, are they doing it to be mean? You know, a kid points out facts. I don't think they're being mean. They point out facts. An adult, probably trying to be mean, but again, I don't know. I don't think that's for us to say, well, you wouldn't do that if you weren't trying to be mean. Because in this case, I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just like, you know, you can't accept the truth. But I just didn't say those words. So, my whole thing to bring this up is, what do you think? Here's the main question. I tried to give you the background. I hope there wasn't any gaps. But do you think that somebody saying you can't take the heat is wrong? Because they shouldn't say that? Or do you think in his position he should have just, you know, not let him affect him and accept the fact that it's true? So, was I wrong for calling him out? Or maybe calling him out in that way? Or should he have been like, man, that's true. Because I don't like it. I can't take the heat. Anyway, I was trying to make this a short and sweet. I do like these type of conversations, like me sharing something and then taking like a poll. Let's talk, because I think every situation really teaches you something. And I can't always be right. I joke all the time. It's not my fault I'm 99% right. I joke. I'm not perfect. But I think we learn from everything. And there have been times where I'm at fault and it is so hard for me to accept it too. So by no means am I like always on point with that. But in this particular case, I thought it was good to bring to the table as a conversation piece, and, you know, we could each learn from that. There's so many opinions out there, and it intrigues me to know kind of where people stand for all kinds of things. In this case, obviously, we've talked about it. I think it took him a while. I finally, at the end of the night, had to say, we need to start over tomorrow. I recently saw something on Instagram where somebody said that, like even with their kids or their spouse or any relationship, they say, excuse me, let's start over tomorrow, or let's start over. That is hard to do, as both he and I have, I would say, challenging childhoods. And we can maybe get into that in the future, but for now, I mean, they are challenging, and so we weren't raised that way. There's a lot of dysfunction. So for us to say that, it was kind of big. And we did. This morning, we were like, I don't know where to start. He didn't know where to start either. And we just kind of, you know, came together and tried to see the other point of view. I did apologize because it hurt him. So, you know, that wasn't my intention. My intention was just to say facts, like it is what it is. And I think he got that, but it still was hard for him to absorb that I wasn't trying to be mean. And I get that, and that's his take on it. So with that being said, I feel like I don't know, I've been going at it I added some more cucumbers, and because I've been talking and the interruptions, I want to make sure that it's not too long. I feel like it's going to be long. But anyway, just share below what you think. And then we can go from there. You can say Team Alex, because that's his name. Or you can say Team Lindsey, because I don't think I've ever said my name on the channel. That's my name. So Team Lindsey or Team Alex, or you could just say Team L or Team A. And why you think the other person was at fault. What's your take on it? Share. And I think that is it for tonight. I'll be sharing a couple more videos soon. So stick around. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and really just commenting. Like, my main thing is commenting. I love my 67 followers. I just, you know, the commenting and the building that community, that's what I enjoy most. So that's what I'm looking for. So if you have time, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video.